Ciao and welcome back to the third episode of Tortellino's Tour of Sicily. In the first episode I was in Trapani here and I cooked a pasta alla trapanese. The second episode was for Easter and because of Easter I did a trio of meat in the pizza oven. And today I will be still in the western side of the island, here in a place called Marsala, mostly known for the wine. It's a recipe I will be doing using Marsala wine, and it's going to be Chicken Marsala, Sicilian Chicken Marsala. And I'll tell you a little bit about Marsala as well, but let's make a start. I will start by slicing a small red onion into very small pieces. You can also use a shallot or a white onion if you wish, but make sure that it's not very big. By the way, I will be cooking for 2 people, so obviously everything is proportional. I've also chopped the equivalent of a couple of cloves of garlic, quite large, into small pieces. Moved on the stove and I'm adding a little olive oil in a pan. And once the oil is nice and hot, add both the onions and the chopped garlic. Next I will be adding some mushrooms. I've got 250 grams of mushrooms and 50-50. 125 grams are mushrooms, I think they're called chestnut mushrooms, the darker one in color, and the other half is normal white, I think they're called closed up mushrooms. Already pre-sliced. I'll give it a couple of minutes, and once everything is nice and soft and brown I will add them in. Add a little salt and a little pepper. And keep the heat on a medium to high setting. Mine at the moment is on number 6 out of 9. They've been sizzling for 3 minutes, literally. They do not need to cook to the end degree, as they will be cooking with the chicken in a little while. And they're done, literally 3 minutes, medium to high, perfectly done. So I will be remove them from the heat for now. And with the mushrooms out of the way, we can now start on the chicken. I'll start by pouring a little bit more olive oil in a frying pan, a new pan. And as indicated by the recipe, I will also be adding a knob of butter. A further 2 cloves of garlic, which I'll crush with my little knife. And I add them to my butter and my oil. Here I have a couple of chicken breasts, which I have sliced in half, and I've put pepper all over them, just black pepper for the time being. And this is some plain flour, to which I've added also some black pepper, quite a generous amount, and a little salt. Place the chicken on top of the flour and coat it throughout, and ensure you get a nice silky finish to the chicken, and any loose flour you shake it off. You do not need to add any oil or any marinade to the chicken, because the chicken is moist on its own as it is anyway, so just pepper, and as you can see it's working very well. The garlic has been marinating away with the oil and the butter, and I'm now adding my chicken. My hob setting is on a medium to high, approximately, yeah, it is number 7, and after a couple of minutes, literally, you can turn them around, and you will see that soon develop this lovely golden crust, and turn them around, and there'll be another couple of minutes before we add our Marsala wine. And that is perfect. I've been sizzling now for a further couple of minutes on the other side, and I'm happy that we can add the wine. I will put my Marsala wine. This is Dry Marsala. I'll tell you a little bit about Marsala in a little while, but there are different varieties, dry, sweet, but I'm using dry because the basic recipe is what I'm using, and Dry Marsala is what they use. And also this is very old. I've had it for years in my cupboard. I only recently found it. So wait until the alcohol from the Marsala has evaporated, and then we can add some chicken stock. Here it is. The reason why you can see that there are some ice cubes in there is because I freeze my chicken stock in ice cubes, and this is really convenient. I can find it anytime I want. And as soon as everything reaches the boil, I will be adding my mushrooms, which I put aside earlier. Oh, the smell coming up is quite something. Next I will be adding some parsley. Again, this is parsley which I keep in the freezer, incredibly handy. And I will be adding also some fresh thyme to it. You will notice that it's a little bit liquidy, and the recipe needs to be a creamy, nice sauce. However, I do not want to add any cream. I don't think it's very healthy to add too many creams. So I will be showing what I'm going to be doing next to make it nice and rich and creamy. I kept some of my chicken stock, and I'm now going to be adding 4 teaspoons of flour, just normal flour. The chicken stock is cold, and by adding the flour it's going to be quite easy to ensure that it dissolves, and make sure that before you add it to the sauce that all of the flour has actually been absorbed by the stock. This will ensure that you don't get any lumps, and it will be a nice creamy sauce and healthy as well. And quite simply, just pour it in with the rest of the chicken and everything else. And like magic, voila, we got a lovely creamy sauce. I'll put the lid on and I will leave it to simmer now on a fairly low heat, number 2 out of 9, for 15 to 20 minutes, and then it should be ready. So while we wait for the chicken, let me tell you a little bit about Marsala. And by all means, if you wish to skip to the next chapter, I will be putting chapters in this video, feel free to do that. So Marsala is south of Trapani, and approximately 25 to 30 minutes, and there are approximately 90,000 people living there. So it's not a very big place, but it's world renowned because of the wine. So what is so important about the wine? Well, the wine is a fortified wine, and it has brandy added to it, but also it is aged in a specific particular way, which makes it very unique in taste. Apparently, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but the way that Marsala was invented was by accident, where a shipment of wine was being transported from Sicily to England in the UK, and the weather was really hot, and it was being transported in barrels, and the wine continued fermenting, and it got very tasty, very strong, very sweet. And by the time they arrived in the UK and they tasted it, they thought, oh, this is really nice. And they decided that that was something that they would make more of. And that's how the Marsala story started. Nowadays it's a very popular wine, and in Marsala there are many distilleries. It's made from a type of grape called Grillo, Grillo. That is the predominant. There are others, but that is the predominant one. And also you will find that there are different varieties nowadays. The basic Marsala is quite straight and dry in terms of taste, although always very sweet. But for example, we buy Marsala almond taste. I think I've seen some weird taste like banana, which stay away from, or strawberries. But the almond one is really nice actually. Maybe it's because almonds and Sicily go very well together. And that is what we tend to buy when we go over. And Julie absolutely love it. But you can drink a little bit too much of it. Anyway, that is a little glimpse about Marsala and why it's so popular in the world. And it's not just the name of a wine, it's the name of a place. See you in a little while. Bye. And we're there. It has been simmering nicely for 15 minutes and it is ready. Look at that lovely thick sauce. By all means, if you don't want this thick, add less flour, but this is absolutely perfect. And the smell coming up is amazing. I will serve a portion and we will see what it's like. Time to see what it tastes like. I'm gonna make sure that I get a piece of mushroom as well.
Be hard not to. Lots of mushrooms.
Yes, we like lots of mushrooms. I don't know if it's because my Marsala was really old, but it's incredibly delicious.
It's a strong.
Yeah, maybe. Really nice actually. I've not made this very often in the past, maybe once or twice, but please, this is an opportunity to make more recipes. It's delicious, I have to say. The creamy sauce and the mushrooms are lovely, and the presence of the alcohol in the Marsala, which is quite sweet as a wine, as I was explaining earlier, is really nice. So there you go. That is Marsala chicken for you, or chicken Marsala, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what you call it, it is delicious. Ciao, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.